Hey guys, so in one of my previous videos, I said that I would kind of show you my way of how I research coins and find some really good opportunities out there in the market. And this market, as you can see, is full of different coins. There's currently 1,300, over 1,300 coins. I mean, that's quite a bit, and new ones kind of coming out almost every day. So, what made me want to do this video is from seeing like how much panic people were having, or really the issue of people just freaking out and panic selling. And I'm thinking, like, why would they sell? I don't understand. If they really knew what was going on in the market and what their investment is in certain coin, shouldn't they know everything about it and have a good idea and feel confident in that coin? So I'm thinking someone's just looking for a quick buck, or they haven't done their proper research, or the more you know, the less emotion will be attached to your investment, because cryptocurrency isn't a get rich quick. I mean, the possibility is there, but I guarantee you, most of the time, it's going to be something you have to hold for a little bit. Be it maybe a week, a month, 6 months. My investments in Ripple and Stellar didn't pay off until like 2.5 months deep. And you see Ripple with its huge run up from when I got it at 20 cents. Stellar, it's huge run up at 47 cents now. When I got it at 3 cents. Even Verge, huge runner, when I got at 0.008, and when I got to 30, right now it's probably at 15. These things take time. Let it develop. All right, so I wanted to show you guys what I do by looking at a coin, and I try to find out as much stuff about it, as much information about it. What is this coin? What is its goal? Right? Is what it's doing solving a real problem that needs to get fixed? And if that problem is solved, is it a game changer? Is it something that that's like, that is really gonna change the landscape of what they're trying to do? Do they have an actual plan? Like, make sure there's a white paper or roadmap. Like, how big is the team? How many backers are there? So it's, there's a lot of things that you should be looking at before diving in and putting in your money into a coin, instead of just like, oh, I think this is good, or you see like a coin having a lot of volume, a lot of a big pump, like let's see, Ryblox right here, past 7-day percentage volume was 403%, like, so looking at them like, oh, this looks great, and Ryblox has had a great run, and you're just trying to ride those coattails. And then, it has a little dip and you start panicking. If you follow these steps, you will avoid having these panic moments and, making sure emotion is disconnected from your investment. Because if you think properly, you will make money and you will avoid mistakes. I mean, just think about it. A lot of bad decisions are made when you're emotional. If you're emotional, the chances of you making a bad decision are quite high. You just think of past times you were angry and you made a decision out of anger. Most of the time it's not the best decision. It's just not. That's just how it is. And the more information you have, the more holistic, big picture view you have, the better you would feel when the market moves. Because you have to remember, guys, in the stock market, a 10% move in a stock is big news. 10%, oh God, oh man, big news, what's going on? In the crypto market, 10% move is nothing. That's baby stuff. I mean, look at this, 14% right here in past 24 hours, 12%, 58%, 27%. And that's just the gainers, 13, 21%. I mean, 106% move. That is bonkers. You don't see stuff like this as often in the stock market, where they make news. Crypto market is much, much more volatile. And if you're emotionally connected, then you're going to panic and you're going to make mistakes. So I'm gonna go over the steps I took and where I chose to go with Tron, for example, right? So Tron right here was a lot lower when I first got into it. It was under 3 cents. So let's go into Tron. So I'm looking at Tron, right? First thing I do, okay, like, wow, this coin has a huge volume in the past 24 hours. It seems very popular, a pretty good market cap. Definitely look at supply. Like, wow, that's a big supply, but quite a lot circulating. Why is Tron having such a big volume? What's going on? Kind of look at the chart, see the life of the coin. Okay, it's actually a fairly new coin. Came out this year, September of 2017, and it's had a huge pop. Like, look at this price, 0.002. Like, guys who got it at that price, they're pretty happy. 0.001, they're pretty happy. That's 5 cents. You could get a lot when it's 0.00 whatever. Okay, so why has it had this huge run up? Look at the spike. What's going on? I want to find out. So, all right, let's see, what markets it's trading in. Okay, wow, it's in a lot of markets. So, no wonder that's definitely a contributor to its volume, overall volume being so much higher because it's in a lot of popular markets, Binance being a huge one. And as you can see, that's where most of its volume comes from. Look at this. From the Binance trade from Bitcoin to Tron and Ethereum to Tron. Then you got quite a few others here. But, the more markets currencies in, the more exposure, the more influence, that span of influence is out there for people to get to, the easier it is for someone to buy. Just like when Bitcoin Cash got on Coinbase, it took a huge jump because Coinbase is easy. You do it on your phone, boom, bang, you're buying a coin within 5 minutes. Something when you have that ease of entry, a barrier of entry, when it's so easy, you can see huge jumps. And the more marketed, and you can understand it, why it has a huge volume. So I'm like, wow, okay, it's in a lot of markets. Let's look at social, Oh, okay, it's very active socially. So I'll check his Twitter. Like, who's Justin Sun? Let's click on that. Okay, it's the founder of Tron, so I'll look at his Twitter. I'll look at the Tron Foundation Twitter. I'll see what kind of information is being pulled out from them. I'll kind of read their comments, because companies, or projects are let's say very active and that they keep updating, right? Their community is good. It builds that confidence in the project. So you're going to want to look for that. That's usually a sign of a healthy team and a healthy coin that's got something going for it. Staying in that constant contact with the community. Just look at stuff like Ripple right now with Brad Garlinghouse being the CEO. If you looked, he's been all over the place. Ripple's Twitter is very active. He's been on CNBC, Bloomberg, Fox News, just pretty much everywhere, just talking about Ripple, just increasing the amount of people that know about Ripple. And you see Ripple's had a huge run up, like almost hit $3 a few years ago. I mean, that's incredible for a coin that has a huge supply. So, like, I look at the total supply here, and you kind of see a lot of new coins having this big supply. And that's because they have big projects, which is going to require a lot of coins to keep some type of stability in their price. So, okay, so I see that has a lot of volume. It's in a lot of markets. Very active social team, not only from the Tron Foundation official Twitter, but also the CEO is very active. So okay, that kind of piques my interest. Let's check out the website. Let's check this out. You're going to want a good website, and the Tron networks are pretty well. This actually looks quite nice. A nice website, and you definitely love it. I love it when you see a white paper, because that really gives you a full understanding of what their product is and their vision. And you're going to want to find coins that have this, because you're going to want to know that there's an actual roadmap vision that these coins are, following. And these projects and teams are actually following. And it gives you a good sense as like a possible investor on what its potential can be. Because there's going to have its ups and downs. But if you know its potential, you could definitely survive the downs and be very happy when it's up. Because then you're thinking, man, I knew it. I knew it. I'm the genius. I put in my time. I put in my research. I made the right decision. So let's look. I can always click the white paper. It's one of the first things I do. White paper in English. That's awesome. I have Chinese and English. So it's a Chinese company, which is kind of nuts, because cryptocurrency and the Chinese government's, like this. But the great thing about cryptocurrencies is that it takes the power away from the governments, and I love it. It gives power, a community kind of thing. Like not one person can come and just wipe everything out. So here's the white paper, and it actually looks quite professional here. And wow, it's quite a large white paper, pretty good. So I would take the time to read this whole thing and actually have a nice little roadmap here of everything that they're planning on doing throughout the whole white paper, which is really good. It's definitely something you should take the time to fully understand the game plan of this currency or this project. Okay, once I'm done reading the white paper, or or just before I read the white paper, I might want to see, how big is the team? And gosh, this is actually a pretty large team. And it's cool that it has the descriptions for the teams here. Oh, wow, I expected to keep, wow, okay, so it's actually a pretty large team, which is not something that's too common with a lot of cryptocurrency projects and companies. These usually like, 6 people, 4, sometimes 2, this is quite impressive for such a large team. And here's some backers, and even itself, it has a large number of backers, which is pretty good. It also has a little description of what they are as well. Partners, so this is always a good thing to see, and they have quite a bit of partners as well. So that's good. You want to see, what gives me a lot of confidence in investing in something is to see, its team. If it has a big team, then, it could be a big project, it has a lot of backers. And if you have a lot of backers on your cryptocurrency, idea, that's usually a good sign. You've gone people, you've told them your vision, you sold them. They're like, I'm willing to fund you. I'm willing to back you. I'm willing to advise and help you out and create legitimacy to your project. And, that just, when you see things like that, a great team, a large team, great backers, you just know that, it's something professional. Bring something professional into the world of cryptocurrency. And that's just something I like to look at, especially when it comes to, let's say, be a safe investment. The more you know, the safer you feel in an investment, the more confident you have. And especially all these partners, that's pretty damn good. Let's see here. Let's look up. Okay, so actually talked about CEO, gives a background to the CEO, which he's actually pretty famous, in China. And that's not a common thing that you'll see, but it's good to see, the more information you get, the better. And they actually have a schedule right here of their planned releases, which is really awesome. And I remember Star Trek, and they actually talk about these different releases in their white paper. So it's definitely right here. See all the different releases. So that's cool. So you can go into detail for that. And having that kind of detail is something you should definitely look at when it comes to, should I invest in this coin? So this is actually a pretty good webpage. It actually has, a description of what they do here. So let's kind of recap in a sense. We were looking to see, like, it's up now. That's awesome. The age of the coin, the market, are they social, the supply, what are they doing? Is what they're doing something that is a game changer or critical? Is it solving a real problem? And if you can find something that solves a real problem, that is pretty awesome, then you might have found yourself a really good investment. And here's one thing that I liked what Justin Sun, actually the CEO, put out on his Twitter. The Iran government blocked Telegram and Instagram in Iran. With decentralized messaging and photo sharing applications trying to develop, no government can block it. That's the meaning of being decentralized. That's incredible. Because that's something that Chinese citizens deal with on an everyday basis when it comes to the Chinese firewall to the internet. You know, they don't have access to all the web pages we have, and even we don't have access to a lot of Chinese servers and stuff like that. So there's there's controlled access. And if you think of net neutrality, you know that the huge backlash and conversations about companies having control of the internet and stuff like the government having control. Well, something like this, when you're trying to create a decentralized internet in a sense, the decentralized data, where it takes that power away, and the government can't control, the message being put out there, especially something like that in Iran. That's a very powerful tool, and something we should all be striving to do. And especially if you live in the U.S., especially when, let's say, gun rights, people go nuts about that stuff. Oh, government, anything that comes into light where you can take away freedoms that easily like that. And that was the Iranian government way to silence people. And you have a project, a team that's willing to, let's say, make that impossible. Then I kind of see that, that could be legit a real-world problem that has a possible real-world fix that is being worked on. So, guys, that's kind of my quick little recap on how I go and look and research for coins and projects that makes me feel comfortable about putting my money in, because also allows me to disconnect emotionally whenever the market kind of does a little downtrend and a little uptrend and a little uptrend. I mean, if I showed them 7-day, look at this, just bouncing up and down, up and down. Now it's been going up. Awesome. I think that's because a lot of people are finding out about Tron. But check this out. Imagine being up here and let's say you see this run up. You're like, oh man, you buy at 5 cents. It hits 6. You're like, oh yeah. And then it drops all the way back down to 2.5 cents. Now, if you didn't have the proper research and you didn't believe, and that's a big thing, do you believe in the project? Right? If you didn't believe in the project, you might panic there. You might panic when it hit 4 cents because now you're losing money. But if you believe in the project and you know what its potential is and what it can do, then you'll be like, whatever. That's no sweat. I'm going to buy more. Actually, this is super awesome. I'm happy about this. And if you see a rundown, I would say do the research. Like, why is this running down? There might be some viable news. So, let's say all of a sudden, China was actually able to destroy the Tron network, and you see the price dropping. Then you could say, yeah, I can understand the project being shut down, or, you can see the price going down. But if it's just going down and literally there's no news out there, right? There's no news at all. And I'm showing you this drop right here during December 22nd. That had pretty much the whole market was a sea of red. There was red on the streets, the crypto streets. And people were panic selling. There was no news. Nothing. People saw selling, they panicked. They didn't know what they're investing in. They didn't believe in their project. They didn't know. The only thing you heard about news was on the mainstream media, like say NBC and stuff like that, CNN, Fox News, all talking about Bitcoin going down, Bitcoin taking a huge drop. And people were just taking their money out. People were panic selling. And the news was only pouring it because people kept selling more and more and panicking, selling, and just cascaded. And it created actually a lot of buying opportunity in a lot of coins. And it's just something that's going to, it's going to keep happening. But the more knowledge you have, you could take advantage of stuff like that. And you could also, make sure that you don't fall for those no news drops. So if you see drop, do you probably see if there's something viable that's actually bringing it down. If not, then it's just people selling for nothing. They're panicking. Don't fall for that trap. Do your research. Believe in what you invest in. And you'll have no problem making money, especially in this super bull market. It's not just a bull market, it's a super bull market. This thing's a bull on rockets right now. So guys, if you liked the video, please make sure to like and subscribe if you'd like to see some more videos in the future. I'd like to give my opinions on some coins and why I invested in them. And if you have any comments, please make sure you drop a comment below and I'll answer the questions for you. But that's all I have tonight. Have a wonderful night, and I hope you enjoyed the holidays.